I was raised in law enforcement myself, actually 2 law enforcement households. My parents were divorced and remarried. I spent my week inside of 1 law enforcement household. There was a trooper household. Spent my weekend in another law enforcement household, my father and stepmother. And what we see right now at this moment in time with this push in Albany for what are pro-criminal policies that are making our streets less safe, we need to be doing so much more to be unapologetically backing our men and women in blue and repealing cashless bail, because what we saw last night as an example, just the latest example, is that the attacker on stage was immediately released due to cashless bail, charged with a felony. You're not allowed to try to stab anybody. And here you have somebody at a political event attempting to stab a member of Congress and instantly released by New York state law. A couple of weeks ago, we were standing in front of the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office. And while we were there focusing on the Jose Alba case, what had also just happened was that 2 Mexican cartel drug smugglers had just been released on cashless bail after they were caught with $1.2 million worth of crystal meth. Now, the argument in favor of cashless bail is that you don't want somebody to stay locked up behind bars only because they can't afford a very small amount of bail. That's the argument that gets made by activists and advocates. I would offer you that if you are a Mexican cartel drug smuggler with $1.2 million worth of crystal meth and you don't set aside enough money, that's on you. You're a bad businessman, you're a bad drug dealer, you're a bad criminal, but those people should not have been released on cashless bail. 93-year-old Connie Torrey of Syracuse was murdered by somebody released on cashless bail. These stories are all across New York. Historic crime rate increases are not just coming out of New York City. We're seeing numbers coming out of Syracuse, seeing numbers coming out of Rochester. People want to feel safe on their streets. They want life in New York to be more affordable and filled with more opportunities. They want freedom. They want a government where they feel like they're in charge of their government. They want public servants who believe that public service is about serving the public, not being served by the public.